In 2008, Dolce Gabbana released the One for Men, and it was a really great fragrance. Only problem was it had performance issues. In 2015, they released the Eau De Parfum version of the One, and it was slightly better, but it still had a lot of performance issues. Well, it's 2020, and they finally decided to release Eau De Parfum Intense version. Will this finally fix all the performance issues? Stay tuned to find out. So today's video is going to be another unboxing, first impressions, and update video. This time it comes from the house of Dolce Gabbana. It is their latest release, the One Eau De Parfum Intense. So the One Eau De Parfum Intense from the house of Dolce Gabbana is a men's aromatic fougere fragrance released in 2020. I don't know the nose behind this fragrance. It is an Eau De Parfum concentration. All right, let's check out the presentation. Alright, so here's the box for the One Eau De Parfum Intense. As you can see, it's very reminiscent to the other boxes in the line. We just have a black box with gold lettering. It says Eau De Parfum Intense down here in a gold box. Other than that, not too much going on with this box. Let's check out the bottle. Alright, so here's the bottle for the One Eau De Parfum Intense. As you can see, it is very reminiscent to the other bottles in the line. This one's just all black with some gold lettering. We have a gold atomizer here. Other than that, not too much going on with this bottle. Alright, so here are the notes for the One Eau De Parfum Intense. In the top we have orange blossom water, green cardamom, and cypress. In the mid we have cashmerean, sage, and resins. And in the base we round things off with leather, labdanum, and patchouli. Yeah, so I really don't know what to expect in this fragrance. I haven't really heard anything about it. I couldn't find the notes on Fragrantica, Parfumo, base notes anywhere. I had to reach out to a friend of mine and ask him for the notes, and he sent me a link over to another website, and they had the notes, so I'm assuming that these notes are all correct. It wasn't even on the Dillard site. I did get this from Dillard's for about $100. This is 100 mil. But yeah, I immediately when I read the notes, I didn't see any amber, tobacco, and ginger, and I believe those are the three notes, in my opinion anyway, that really give it the one kind of sexiness, that sweetness. You know, so I'm not really sure what to expect from this one. I'm a little nervous that it's not going to smell like the original. Now, I do have a sample of the original that the lady at Dillard's gave me. She gave me a quick little sample of the original. They didn't have the intense version to give me a sample of. So I'm hoping that it smells like the original, just extremely stronger. I mean, I'm sure, you know, these perfumers nowadays can make anything smell like something else without using the same notes. I'm really hoping that it does resemble it. But I do love amber and tobacco and ginger in this fragrance anyway. I'm not a huge fan of ginger, but mainly the amber and tobacco of this fragrance really does give it that sexiness, and it's always getting compliments and stuff, even though the first two releases kind of lacked in the performance department. I'm just hoping this one still somehow keeps the original DNA, but just amplifies it and still gets the same compliments, but just gets better performance. So let's take a first impressions of Dolce Gabbana the One Eau De Parfum Intense. Alright, so I'm not going to put the sample of the original on my hand just yet. I'm going to just start with the newest version here and see how it smells, and if I need to be reminded of the original DNA, I'll go ahead and spray that sample, but right now I'm just going to spray the original. So let's pop the cap here. Clean hand. Spray is okay. Okay. Wow, okay. Definitely getting the DNA. I'm getting the citrus notes. I'm getting some of those resins. I'm getting the green notes in this. The green notes and the citrus notes that are mixing really well. Wow. This is a very sexy fragrance right now, right off the bat. It reminds me of the original, but it's not like super obvious, but it's there. Something in this is giving it like the citrus notes are very strong in this. I mean, it says orange blossom water, and there really is no other citrus in this. Green cardamom and cypress. Again, you know, a friend of mine gave me the notes from another website, so who knows if these are even correct. It wasn't even on the Dolce Gabbana website, so, you know, I'm going off of these notes. But yeah, I'm getting like the citrus notes. I'm definitely getting the cardamom. The cardamom's adding a lot of sexiness to this fragrance. The orange blossom water is the only thing in here that has anything that has to do with citrus, so I'm guessing that's what it is. But the citrus notes is very like almost lemony and sweet. The cardamom is very sexy and creamy. I'm getting the cypress and the sage. That's giving it a bit of like pininess and like woodiness. Yeah, I'm not getting the leather just yet, but I did like the addition of the leather note in this. And I'm not getting it just yet, but I'm getting a little bit of it. Yeah, wow, I really like this fragrance right now. I can get some of the one DNA, but I can already tell just right now on the opening spray here, it smells like it's really strong. It smells like it's going to have some really good performance, but again, we've been duped in the past with other fragrances, including the Eau De Parfum version. But this one does kind of keep a little bit of that DNA, but it's not as like, I don't know, it's not as like, this one's definitely more mature maybe. Yeah, I do think this fragrance is going to be a hit in the fragrance community. It's very sexy. It's sweet. It's very. I think it's going to be mass appealing. It's a bit more mature version of the original, but I like that. You know, I'm 39 now. I do want to try something a little sexier, maybe a little more mature. And this is definitely doing it. There is a bit of some you know, youth aspect to this fragrance, but overall, I get like just a more refined, better version of the original. And I mean, this thing is like tame compared to this. This thing just, it's more full bodied. It just smells better, but I still slightly get the DNA of the original. So I can see why they call this one the one. I get the DNA, but they just added some other elements just to make it more robust and just more well-rounded. So right now, I am pleased with this fragrance. I guess we'll have to see how the performance goes. But I can't wait to try this one out. I'm going to wear this fragrance tonight and over the next few days and give you guys an update shortly. Talk to you then. All right, well, I'm back with my update for the one Eau De Parfum Intense from the house of Dolce Gabbana. Yeah, so I spent the last few days with this fragrance, and I gotta say, I do really like this fragrance. I'm not in love with it, and I'll tell you guys why here shortly. But yeah, it does keep that nice opening that I mentioned in the first half of the video. It does have some nice citrus notes. It does say orange blossom water, but I did read somewhere else that it has neroli in it, so I'm not really sure where that kind of falls. But I do get some citrus notes in there. It's nice, fresh, spicy. Keeps all the green notes, like I mentioned before. Very nice opening. I was very, very pleased with the opening of it. It was very sweet, fresh, also warm, spicy. After a couple of hours, it kind of dries down to a nice, very sexy leather fragrance. And I gotta be honest with you, it kind of reminds me of CH Men Privé. Not sure if you guys will agree with me on that one, but the dry down reminds me of the dry down from CH Men Privé, minus the boozy notes, but it does have that same sexy leather that CH Men Privé brings to the table, and I was very, I was pleasantly surprised actually that this one kind of had that. So it did kind of remind me a little bit of that one. You know, it did keep a little bit of that DNA, but not enough of it. I'll talk more about that here shortly. But you know, with the first impressions after a few wearings, I did really like this fragrance. Longevity for this fragrance was really good. I got 8 hours with this fragrance. It is an Eau De Parfum Intense, so I was hoping that it would, you know, have better longevity, and it did. It did fill that need for me in that department. It wasn't a beast by any means, but I did get 8 hours consistently. Projection for this fragrance was average to slightly above average. It wasn't a beast like I mentioned before. It wasn't jumping off my skin. The first couple of hours were really nice for this fragrance, and I did get noticed wearing it. But it got, you know, pretty close to the skin after that, and after a couple of hours, you couldn't really smell it for maybe half a foot off of me. But it did last a long time. It just didn't get the best projection. Seasons for this fragrance, I'm going to say year around with an asterisk on that, because I will say if you're going to wear it in warmer weather, probably wear it when it's a little bit cooler, warmer weather, like at night. You know, because it is fresh, spicy. It does have some nice fresh notes in the opening to kind of get you through that warmer weather. But I would say not super hot weather, because it might get a little cloying if you put too much on. But I will say definitely fall and winter, because it is you know, warm, spicy. It does have that labdanum in there, and I did read that labdanum does give it that ambery kind of leathery smell. So that's probably where that amber note comes from. But it does have a nice ambery, leathery dry down that'd be really good in the cooler weather. Occasions for this fragrance, well, this is a very sexy fragrance, so you guys can probably guess what I'm going to say. Evening events, you know, date nights, just going out. Probably not strong enough for a club. Maybe if you just apply a little bit more, it'll probably get you through the night at the club. But evening events, definitely for this fragrance. Ages for this fragrance, so I think a good starting point for this fragrance would be between the ages of 25 and 30, just because it does have that nice fresh opening. It's very sweet and powdery and playful, but then in the dry down it gets a bit more mature. So I think, you know, the 25 and up crowd will probably like the opening of this fragrance, but the 30 and up crowd will definitely like the dry down of this fragrance. Overall, I really do like this fragrance. It's not my favorite for a couple of reasons. The main reason, I think, is because this fragrance didn't really remind me of the original the One. You know, the One Eau De Parfum that came out shortly after the One was actually just the same formula. They just amped it up a little bit. And I really was hoping, although it'd be kind of a little bit boring, I guess, to release the same thing just a little bit stronger every time. Other companies have done it. But I was kind of hoping that they would do that with this one. This is kind of its own composition. This is its own thing. You could easily put this fragrance in another bottle and I would have no clue that it was supposed to be the One, you know, because I get a slight hint of that DNA, a little bit of that rum and coke, as I call it, to my nose. I get a little bit of rum and coke with the original DNA from the One, and I slightly get that, and I slightly get a little bit of the ambery nuances and whatnot. But there's no ginger, no tobacco, so it really doesn't go down the original One DNA very strongly. This kind of goes off in its own direction after the first couple of minutes. But saying that, this is a good fragrance on its own. It's very sexy. It's very has a little bit of everything. Fresh, spicy, warm, spicy. It's got that sexy dry down that reminded me of CH Men Privé. You know, decent, really good longevity, but decent projection. It wasn't a beast by any means. Always, you could just apply more if you'd like. On my skin, it didn't really jump off my skin like I was hoping it did. But the longevity was there, you know, 8 hours, if not more than that, but definitely got 8 hours. After, you know, the dry down, I could get it after a while, small little hints of it, so I knew it was still there. I just wish it was, I guess, a little bit stronger, but I mean, it's a $100 fragrance for 100 mil. They're not gonna, you know, their whole point is for you to buy another one kind of quickly, so they're not gonna, you know, sit there and make this one super strong too. You're not gonna want to buy another one. You know, their whole point is to want to get your money. But I do like this fragrance. I will say, you know, try before you buy. I don't think you should blind buy it. Although this is easily found at Dillard's, I think, right now. So you can probably just go and try it there, get a sample from them, because they're doing samples now, I believe. But yeah, really like this fragrance. Again, wish it reminded me more of the original. So that's why it's not my favorite. I think if it was just a stronger, you know, an intense version of the Parfum, you know, and just they kept everything the same, they just amplified the oil concentrations or however you describe that, I would have been very surprised by that, because that's what we've all been really hoping for, is just keep the original the same, the original formulation, and just make it stronger. That way we can all just get noticed wearing that amazing composition that they created with the first one. And I was really hoping they would do that, but they did not. But again, this fragrance is no slouch. I think it's definitely worth a try, and who knows, maybe you guys out there will really like this one. You know, it did remind me of a couple of other ones here and there, but it's, you know, it's its own original composition overall. So I think this fragrance is good, but definitely try before you buy. Alright, so has anyone out there tried the One Eau De Parfum Intense from the house of Dolce Gabbana? If you have, let me know your experience with this fragrance down in the comments below. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching our video on my channel. If you like this video, please click that like button, subscribe to my channel, and turn on those notifications for future First Impressions videos and fragrance-related content just like this. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Dollars and Cents. There, you'll find fragrance-related photos and future contest winners. And as always, until the next video, you guys take care. Thanks.